Xianxia didn't actually know that Chen Kai had such a background. He had thought that the heaven-old orcs was naturally birthed. Looks like heaven-old divine race is a bit more of a bastard. Xianxia said. That's not it either. However, the heaven-old orcs is nothing, and I am a combination of both sides, so I am just a weirdo. Chen Kai helplessly drank a cup of wine and continued. Our two races were both born in Myriad Tau, and above Myriad Tau is an extremely bizarre world. The energy above can be said to be inexhaustible, and it is inexhaustible, but there is a lack of life above. It's different from the Myriad Tau, unlike this place where there is such a stable life where people just kill each other every day. Aren't there people that can go up? Do they often? Xianxia thought about the dead Myriad Tau Dan god. No wonder Chen Kai was so relaxed after coming to this place. He had a very good understanding of the world above Myriad Tau. But why are the heaven-old orcs and the heaven-old divine race here now? I don't know what their main goal is, but it won't be anything good either. Right now, they are all fighting to go to one place. Chen Kai said in a low voice, to some natural law world or something. I heard that you are from the natural law world, so their main target is you, because there are your friends inside. This might just be a cover. Xianxia frowned. Natural law world, what's attracting them? I don't believe that they would go to the natural law world for me. Natural law world has a barrier, and if someone who's very strong wants to go to natural law world, it will not be easy, so the price they have to pay is not small. Xianxia felt the same way before, but now, he felt more and more that heaven-old divine race and heaven-old orcs had other reasons for going to the natural law world. I don't know about that. I can tell you some things about the heaven-old divine race now, but even the heaven-old orcs doesn't know much about these things. Chen Kai said, this is the heaven-old divine race's secret. All right, Xianxia said. I need to understand their strength. They are very strong, and the way they obtain their power is the same as the heaven-old orcs. They both come from the heart. Chen Kai touched his own heart, and the heart is also their fatal weakness. If you clash with them, you just need to hit their heart and destroy it, and you will be able to kill them. Xianxia nodded his head. That means they must have a very strong defense where their heart is. Chen Kai laughed. Of course, but your heavenly magic sword can be broken easily. The heavenly magic sword was something that Chen Kai had refined. He felt that it was the best for this powerful divine sword, because it was something that he had refined. Their power originates from the heart, but their heart is different from heaven-old orcs'. Heaven-old orcs' is the heart of a beast, while their heart is black. As Chen Kai said that, he took out a black stone that looked like a heart. This is the heart of the heaven-old divine race. Chen Kai said, look, there's still a strong life force ahead. Xianxia never thought that this was a real heart. He took it and looked at it and actually felt a very weak heartbeat, and that heart was even emitting an ice-cold chi. He took a closer look and discovered that there was only a thick layer of black crystal wrapped around the surface of the heart. There was also a large lump of something inside the heart, and it should be the energy source. It's very sturdy. Xianxia pinched it, then took out the heavenly magic sword, wanting to see if he could cut it open. Stop! Chen Kai immediately shouted, and suddenly snatched the heart away. You're crazy? Do you know who the heart belongs to? It couldn't be your father's, could it? Xianxia said, as Chen Kai had previously said that his father was from the heaven-old divine race. Of course not, this is mine. Chen Kai snorted, then hid the heart well, afraid that it would be cut open by Xianxia. Feng Kuo and Xianxia were both stunned. The heart was actually Chen Kai's own. He actually took out his own heart to shake around. It was truly a weirdo. Is that all right with you? How could he casually take out the heart? Even the heaven-old divine race can do it? Xianxia asked. If you hide your heart like this, how will I be able to kill heaven-old divine race in the future when I encounter such a situation? Of course, the heaven-old divine race cannot casually take out a heart like me. Chen Kai laughed complacently. This heart belongs to me. If the one I have now is damaged, I can immediately replace it. That's fine too. Feng Kuo asked. Didn't you say that your heart was destroyed and you died? How could I give you time to replace your heart? Because the soul is also in the heart. If the heart finds destruction, the most important soul and life source will be gone. How can one not die? Chun Kai said, and my soul is hidden in the black heart. The beast heart only has energy. Of course, there's also energy in my heart of darkness. It was evident how much trust Chun Kai had in him, since he was able to tell Chun Xiang all of this without holding back. Chun Xiang, if you have the chance in the future, you can just dig out the hearts of those fellows in heaven old divine race and give them to me. Chun Kai said. All right. Chun Xiang said. Is there anything else that's powerful that I should be wary of in heaven old divine race? They are very powerful in terms of formations and equipment forging. They were arranged to be here, and their strongest power is only at the peak of world-defying stage. The only difference is, they can also use world-defying stage fierce power. Chun Kai said, I want to test their hearts. I want to see if I can retrieve the world-defying stage fierce power S from within. I also want to cultivate this kind of power. It would be fine if it was above myriad Tau, but there are no world-defying stage fierce power S here. If it cannot be absorbed, then we can only extract it from heaven old divine race and heaven old orcs. Chun Kai said. Chun Xiang's divine sense C had an invigorated meridian, which allowed him to absorb world-defying stage fierce powers. It was just that he had never tried it before because his body was not strong enough previously. He was unable to succeed, but now his body was strong enough. Okay, but how do we find the heaven old divine race now? I want to see them. Chun Xiang said. Isn't that easy? Aren't they recruiting fighters now? I'll go register with you. They won't recognize us. Chun Kai laughed. Let's sneak in with them and find some fun. Chun Xiang thought about it and felt that this idea was not bad and agreed. After eating, he followed Chun Kai and set off. Chun Kai brought Chun Xiang and quickly walked through the city, quickly arriving outside a large mansion. Residence of He? When Chun Xiang saw this word, he asked softly, Don't tell me he's from He clan? It's from He clan. Chun Kai laughed. After Chun Xiang cultivated for a long time, he was already able to conceal the aura of his own world-defying green dragon and was no longer able to track it. In the past, it was very easy for the world-defying stage clan to trace the aura of a world-defying green dragon on his body. Is the He clan in charge of this city? Chun Xiang followed Chun Kai over. Yes. After Chun Kai entered, he saw many people standing in the same courtyard, waiting for the assessment. Do you need Dao crystal or something? Chun Xiang asked. He had seen many things in the past where big powers needed to recruit people, and most of them needed to collect a certain number of Dao crystal. No need as long as you can pass. Moreover, there will be very good treatment. I had intended to sneak in and take a look. Chun Kai brought Chun Xiang to line up and said in a low voice, When the time comes, we just need to perform a little more normally, so as to not attract too much attention. Chun Xiang had already changed his appearance on the way here, and he also looked relatively ordinary. As long as they did not reveal their true strength, there would not be any problems. When they were lining up, Chun Xiang saw that quite a few people had passed the exam. Old Zhao, have you passed the assessment? An old man shouted to another old man. Of course I passed, but I don't really want to go because it's too dangerous and I'm afraid I won't be able to come back. Old Zhao sighed. If you're afraid of death, then don't queue up now. What is the danger? The old man asked. I don't know. In short, it looked extremely complicated. I only found out about it during the exam. After saying this, the old man hurriedly left the residence of He. That was why even if they knew, they would continue to queue up because once they came back, they would receive a lot of rewards. Legend has it that there was still a pill that could help them enter the world-defying stage. That was the most attractive thing. Chun Kai entered a house, and just after a while, he came out with a wooden board in his hands. He came to Chun Xiang's side and smiled. It's easy to pass. Don't be nervous. I'll be waiting for you in the backyard. After Chun Kai finished speaking, he passed through a fake mountain and left. After that, it was Chun Xiang's turn. After entering the house, he saw a very big stone. The stone was black, with many sharp thorns on the surface. It was like a short sword. What's your name? The elder in charge of the assessment asked. Xin Fei. Chun Xiang said a fake name. Okay. Now pull a needle from this rock, the old man said. Xianxia nodded, then walked over and pinched the spike on the rock, and then pulled it out with force. Your strength isn't bad. You have passed. I will carve a wooden tablet for you. The old man took the spikes Xianxia had pulled out and said, if you go to natural law world, you will encounter this kind of thing there. At that time, all you need to do is to pull the spikes off from the top and hand them over to us. If you can get a lot of these spikes, you can obtain our highest rewards. What's the highest reward? Xianxia looked at the thorn in his hand. He did not know what it was. To obtain a divine pill that can allow you to enter the world-defying stage. It's just that you need to be very outstanding. The old man had already finished making the wooden tablet, and handed it over to Xianxia, then kept the sharp thorn. Take them and go to the backyard of the He Manor. We will arrange for you to stay in the residence of He. When the time comes, we will bring you guys to the natural law world. The old man said, don't ask about anything else, you don't need to know. You only need to know that this trip is extremely dangerous and that there is a high possibility that you will not be able to return. Xianxia nodded, took the wooden tablet and left the small hut, and then quickly headed towards the backyard. Xiaokuer, did you see those thorns just now? Do you know what that is? Xianxia asked. I don't know. However, I am certain that the rock where the spike is located on is not a rock. It is a type of animal skin. It shouldn't be a spike either, but rather a type of beast hair. Feng Kuer said. Really? Xianxia was completely shocked by Feng Kuer's words. If beast fur alone was so scary, then what if it was a whole-day beast? When he arrived at the backyard, Chun Kai was already there waiting for him. Chun Kai hurriedly brought him into a room. There are 2 beds in this room. We'll stay here for the time being. After Chun Kai finished speaking, his expression became serious and continued to speak. Just now, during your assessment, did you want to pull out a single thing? Xianxia nodded. Yes. He also wanted to discuss this matter with Chun Kai. It's a type of beast hair, Chun Kai said in a low voice. Moreover, it's an extremely terrifying beast. Heaven Old Divine Race and World-Defying Stage Clan are actually going to hunt and kill this beast. And it's even inside natural law world. What kind of beast is it? Why would it appear in the natural law world? Xianxia asked anxiously. It was just as Feng Kuer said. It was indeed a type of fur, and it was extremely useful. The name of this beast is Tiangu beast. It is a very foolish type of beast, but it is unusually strong, and its body is extremely strong. Even if it's someone at the peak of world-defying stage, it would be difficult to kill them all at once. Chun Kai said, only the myriad Tao have such things, and there shouldn't be many of them. But from the looks of it, a lot of natural law world will appear. Xianxia said, otherwise, Heaven Old Divine Race and World-Defying Stage Clan would not have recruited this many people. Tiangu beast are stupid and strong, especially their fur. When they are dense, they look like countless swords, which is why they are also called sword beasts. Chun Kai said, legend has it that this fellow's fur that has a surface like a sword even contains myriad Tao divine soil. Now do you understand why they want to collect these fur? The myriad Tao divine soil was very useful. Xianxia had already sensed it. He had his own ways of gathering the myriad Tao divine soil. It was just that it would take him a little time and a lot of effort. But the World-Defying Stage Clan and the World-Defying Stage Clan were different. They did not have a method like Xianxia's, but they also needed the myriad Tao divine soil very badly, so they could only use this method. Seems like this is an opportunity for us to obtain a large number of myriad Tao divine soil. Chun Kai laughed. When the time comes, we must go take a look. Pure text online read local domain name mobile phone synchronous read. Please visit. Xianxia did not lack myriad Tao divine soil. He could refine them himself, but he did not want his enemies to gain too much. What I am curious about now is where did these Tiangu beasts come from and how many of them there are. Xianxia was extremely suspicious. Just what happened above the myriad Tao that was always able to descend upon such a strong guy batch by batch. First, it was the former Heaven Old Orcs, then it was the Heaven Old Divine Race, and now it's the Tiangu beast. I don't know about that. If you want to know, you have to grab their higher-ups and ask them. Chun Kai shook his head. At this time, Xianxia and Chen Kai had no way of knowing where the Tiangu beast had come from, so they could only give up and wait for them to see the living Tiangu beast with their own eyes. Bang! 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 Suddenly, someone roughly knocked on the door. There were many people at the backyard of the He clan. Chen Kai had only just arrived and did not know many people, but there were already people looking for him. This made him more curious about who was looking for him. After opening the door, the dozen men immediately rushed in and quickly closed the door. Each one of them was ferocious and had a murderous look on their faces. They were all big men. "You two have just arrived, right? Who are you two?" One of the young men said. He looked at the middle-aged leader and said, "He is our big brother Big Biao. Quickly kneel down and salute him. From now on, you all have Big Brother Big Biao protecting you. Oh yeah, after you kneel, don't forget to give 1,000,000,000 Dao crystal to Big Brother Big Biao." The funny thing was, these ruffians actually cultivated the venerable ancestor later stage. They did not know how they managed to cultivate it. It could only be said that the pills in the divine wasteland were flourishing more and more, allowing many people to cultivate to the venerable ancestor realm. "What if we don't kneel down and give up to the Dao crystal?" Chen Kai asked. "This is the He clan. Even if we are to give it to him, we will give it to him. If we were to tell this to the people of the He clan, wouldn't you be afraid?" Ha ha! When the 10-odd men heard this, they all burst into laughter. "He clan? Don't you know that we are protected by the people of the He clan? Stop talking nonsense and quickly kneel down. Otherwise, don't blame us," a young man said as he rubbed his fist, which was making a gurgling sound. Judging from his ferocious expression, he was very scary. But Xianxia and Chen Kai were not afraid of them at all. "So it turns out that the He clan is protecting you." Xianxia laughed. "I don't believe that the He clan would shelter you 10 over stupid pigs. He clan is a grand world-defying stage clan. But he can raise pigs? It's unbelievable. You're courting death." The young man immediately roared and threw a punch at him. His fists were still extremely fierce and imposing in the past, but when his fists approached Xianxia's face, they were suddenly blocked by a burst of support, and it was difficult for his fists to reach his face. "A bunch of overconfident people. Do you think you guys can take our protection fee?" Xianxia sneered, extended his hand and grabbed the big-sized man's wrist, then pinched it hard, and with a crack, the bones on his wrist was broken by Xianxia. What frightened the youth was that he did not feel any pain, and the bones in his wrist were broken. You are going against the heavens." Big Brother Big Biao saw that Xianxia was actually fighting back, and immediately became furious. He took out a large hammer and rotated it towards Xianxia. "You bunch of weak pigs only dare to do this sort of thing." 2 beams of fire shot out from Xianxia's eyes, burning the hammer into ashes. This scared Big Brother Big Biao so much that he retreated a few steps. Now, they finally understood that the people they met this time were extremely powerful, and their strength far surpassed theirs. People with that kind of strength were mostly from world-defying stage. They would definitely not be able to beat him. "You all, there are those who won't leave." Big Brother Big Biao's reaction was very fast. He hastily left through the door, and the rest of the people immediately followed, worried that they would be killed. "I didn't expect to cause trouble. These guys are really bastards." Xianxia shook his head and sighed. "He probably went to look for help. Let's take a look first." Chen Kai put his hand on Xianxia's shoulder because Xianxia wanted to leave. "All right." Xianxia did indeed want to stay here and head towards the natural law world to follow the world-defying stage clan and search for the Tiangu beast. It was just that he didn't know if they would still be able to go if he stirred up some trouble now. Very soon, people arrived. The people here were a bit more powerful. But Xianxia and Chen Kai were not afraid. "Isn't this the steward?" Chen Kai laughed when he saw an elder walk in. Chen Kai had seen this butler before when he first entered the backyard, and he had a good relationship with the butler too. Xianxia guessed that Big Brother De Biao and the rest of them had this butler behind their backs. When the butler came in, his face was fierce, but after seeing Chen Kai, his expression became much warmer. He looked at the group of pigs behind Chen Kai and berated angrily. "You pigs, If you continue to cause trouble for me, all of you get out of He clan. The butler was not like those fellows who only had eyes and eyes for eyes. Of course, he could tell that Xianxia and Xianxia were not ordinary people, or else he wouldn't have scared Big Brother Big Biao and the others so much that they would run away. But this made him curious. Why would the people of the world-defying stage come here? The majority of the people who came here were here to obtain divine pellets. A divine pellet to allow someone to enter the world-defying stage was extremely precious, and only through this opportunity would ordinary people be able to obtain one. However, to those who had already stepped into the world-defying stage, this was not very attractive. However, Xianxia and Chen Kai were here. Chen Kai seemed to have already seen through the butler's thoughts. He walked over and smiled. "Butler, we are indeed from the world-defying stage. We only came here out of curiosity. It's very rare for us to be able to accompany the world-defying stage clan and the heaven-old divine race on an adventure in this world. Traveling outside is a form of training for us. It can strengthen our mental state." Xianxia laughed. "Chief Butler, let's forget about this matter. We don't have any losses anyway. Then I'll apologize for those guys here." The butler hurriedly nodded with a smile and apologized to Xianxia and Chen Kai. Xianxia and Chen Kai naturally accepted his apology and chatted for a while. In the end, the butler said that he still had things to do and left in a hurry. "I wonder if we will attract the attention of the He clan." Chen Kai said, "There are already a lot of people in the Venerable Ancestor later stage now, but there aren't many in the world-defying stage, only many in the world-defying stage clan. Very few people in the citizens are able to step into the world-defying stage with their own strength. If there are any, they would be won over by the powers such as the world-defying stage heavenly sect. As long as they don't find out who I am." Chen Xiang said, "Our current goal is to follow them to the natural law world to find those Tiangu beast and find out where those Tiangu beast came from. Pure text online read local domain name mobile phone synchronous read, please visit Xianxiang," and Chen Kai had been waiting here for a few days, but no one from the higher-ups of the He clan came to look for them. Big Brother De Biao and the rest of those ruffians are most likely kept by the butler. This butler made a lot of money and was worried that we would expose him, so he did not inform us of his identity. Otherwise, if we were to discuss this with the higher-ups of the He clan, he would be in deep trouble. Chen Kai laughed. He had only been in the human world for a few years, and already understood this kind of human nature. A powerhouse like the He clan should not like this kind of thing. Xianxiang laughed. "That's not bad, at least it's a good thing for us. But we still have to be on guard." Chen Kai opened the door and went outside. "Look! It looks like we are about to set off. During this time, you always come to remind us to be prepared." When Chen Xiang went outside, he saw that there were already more than 3,000 people in the courtyard. Big Brother De Biao and the other 10-odd people had also disappeared, probably killed by the butler. The main butler belongs to world-defying stage. This guy must have earned a lot. Chen Xiang looked at the butler in the distance and said softly to Chen Kai. An old man dressed in extravagant clothing suddenly arrived, and the main butler immediately and respectfully walked over to pay his respects to the old man. "Everyone has been waiting for a long time. We can set off tomorrow morning. Before you depart again, you must eat a pill. This pill can protect you from being poisoned." The old man took out a golden box and handed it to the butler. "Give one to each of them and watch them eat it." The steward nodded and gave the pill to everyone. The 3,000 people let him send it for a long time, but now it was Chen Xiang's turn. Chen Kai and Chen Kai's turn. They had already agreed to pretend to eat it, so after they received it, they only put it in their mouths, and then used a force to wrap this pellet in. Alright, everyone has already consumed it. In that case, if you meet a savage beast who knows how to use poison, you all don't have to worry about it. When the old man saw that everyone had finished eating, he said loudly, "Go back and have a good rest. We will set out tomorrow morning and head to Natural Law World." After the old man, everyone went back to their own rooms. After Chen Xiang returned to his room, he quickly spat out the pill and frowned. This is definitely not an antidote pill. Chen Xiang could currently be said to be one of the top alchemists in the Divine Wasteland, so he could tell with a glance if it was a poison antidote pill or not. What kind of pill would that be? Chen Kai also spat out. I don't know yet. I'll take a look after I dissolve it. Xianxia took out the Tianquang furnace and placed the pellet inside, then released the weak world-defying god fire inside to incinerate. This is a poisonous pill. After Xianxia incinerated, he said in shock. Could it be that these fellows want to use poison pills to control everyone? So sinister. When Chen Kai found out about this, he was a little angry, but he almost believed it. It should be a poison pill that will take effect at a certain time. Xianxia said, I've been infected with this poison before, but I just don't know what will happen when this poison pill breaks out. Xianxia also did not understand this kind of pill. He continued to study it closely, while Chen Kai had already gone to rest. Early morning on the second day, when Chen Kai woke up, he saw that Xianxia was still facing the pill furnace. So he said, We're going out to gather? Have you gotten a result? There are already results. This pill should have been refined by the heaven-old divine race. I never thought that there would be an alchemist master in the heaven-old divine race. Xianxia exclaimed. His technique is also very profound. Xianxia was only curious about what would happen after the poison broke out, and he also had to find a way to cure it, because it was refined by the heaven-old divine race. If the heaven-old divine race were to use it on him in the future, he would be prepared. There are indeed many strong fellows in the heaven-old divine race. It is not strange for them to refine pills. Chen Kai said, Maybe they even refined a large amount of pills to allow people to enter world-defying stage. It should be good. They even know how to use this poison pill to control others. That way, they won't need to be afraid of betrayal, and they don't need to pay anything to be able to get a bunch of slaves. Xianxia gnashed his teeth and said, I must stop this from happening. Is there any way? Chen Kai asked. I'm also worried that I'll be poisoned. If you have a good idea, then that's fine. I don't need to worry about that anymore. Not at the moment, but if I meet people from heaven-old divine race and kill one or two of them, I can find a way to break their detoxification pills and find the herbs needed to concoct them. Xianxia said. Chen Kai had already opened the door and walked out. After following him out, they saw the old man again. But what surprised both him and Chen Kai was that many of them looked listless, and were even trembling. Seeing this situation, Xianxia and Chen Kai reacted very quickly. They immediately pretended to be listless and like the others. Their bodies trembled as they walked into the group. Many people here seemed to understand something when they saw that everyone was in the same situation. Just as Xianxia had said, the poison from the pellet yesterday had already acted up, which was why everyone acted like this. He and Chen Kai had only pretended to eat it, so they weren't poisoned. Everyone's condition isn't too good. As the old man spoke, he had a sinister smile on his face. But don't worry, I have pills for you. If you take them, you will recover immediately. As he spoke, the old man had the butler give each of them a red pill. Xianxia and Chen Kai could see that when those people saw this pill, they looked like hungry wolves that had seen meat. Their eyes had already turned red, and when this pill came into their hands, they quickly stuffed it into their mouths. When it was Xianxia and Chen Kai's turn, they also learned to act like this in order to not be suspected. When the main butler saw them acting like this, he was secretly happy, because the people from the world-defying stage were also controlled by the He clan. After consuming the pill, everyone recovered their spirit. Everyone knew that this was all part of the He clan. Although they were angry in their hearts, they did not dare to make a sound, because they were sure that they would be in that state again in the future. If they did not have the antidote pill, they would feel very uncomfortable. They were all cursing He clan in their hearts. Xianxia and Chen Kai had also pretended to eat their antidotes. Xianxia did not expect to get his hands on the antidote so quickly, and now, as long as he had time, he would be able to concoct the same antidote. All right, we can set off now. When the old man saw that everyone was being honest, he immediately laughed out loud and took out a huge frisbee, allowing everyone to walk on it. After going up, the elder controlled the flying discs to fly quickly, and they headed towards the myriad Tau forest. The huge flying disc was soaring high in the sky. Although it was huge, its speed was very fast. Even when standing on top of it, it didn't feel like it was blown by the wind. Xianxia and Chen Kai could hear someone discussing about the poison pill in a low voice. Other than Chen Xiang and Chen Kai, everyone else had been poisoned by the poison. They knew how dangerous this great power was, and that it would definitely be controlled by them for a long time. Many people who heard the discussions were furious, but they did not dare make it too obvious, as they were worried that they would be discovered. Chen Xiang was currently seated cross-legged on the ground. He had already entered his own divine sense world to refine the poison detoxification pill. He could dissolve this pill, and then use the derivation method to refine it, which would be able to produce a greater amount of detoxification power. If he were to clash with the antidote again, he would be able to obtain a large amount of medicinal power, and at that time he would be able to condense a large amount of the antidote. This pill can only be temporary relief. If its quality is high, it should be able to be removed in one go. Chen Xiang thought and estimated how much pills he would need. He had to use his experience to determine this. The time of the poison's onset should be around 1 day. Chen Xiang looked at everyone's expressions. There was nothing abnormal. It had already been 2 hours since they had eaten the antidote pill. The flying disc was still flying, and although its flying speed was fast, it still needed a lot of time to reach the myriad Tao forest. During this time, it was also convenient for Chen Xiang to observe. Soon, a day had passed. By the morning of the second day, the crowd had become listless and their bodies were trembling. This was the same situation as yesterday. It's indeed 1 day. Now that Chen Xiang had determined the time of the poison's onset, he could calculate how much strength it would take to purge the poison in one go based on the quantity of the detoxification pill. At this time, the butler started to distribute antidote pills again. This time, he gave each of them 3 pills. This way, the pills could last for 3 days. At this time, everyone was very sure that they had been poisoned. They never thought that a dignified He clan would actually use such a despicable method to harm them. This made them even more furious. At this moment, the flying discs were enveloped in an extremely oppressive atmosphere. Everyone was suppressing their anger because the people of the He clan were on the flying discs, and they were very strong as well. Even if the people of this place worked together, they would still not be able to defeat the elder of the He clan. Everyone, as long as you cooperate with us, after this period of time, I will definitely help you cure the poison. The old man from He clan felt terrified when he was stared at by the crowd's resentful gaze and quickly said. The crowd did not say anything as they silently closed their eyes. They did not know what to say as they knew that as long as they resisted, only death awaited them. Now they could only accept it. He clan these bastards. I will definitely not let them have a good time. Chen Kai clenched his teeth and sent a sound transmission to Chen Xiang. Once there's a chance, attack He clan. These people are too despicable. Even the heaven-old orcs Chen Kai couldn't stand it any longer. Could be seen that Chen Kai was still very righteous in his heart. Of course, I already have enmity with the He clan. I won't let them succeed. Chen Xiang replied. At the moment, he was still concocting pills, but he had used the power of the time laws 3 times inside the divine sense world. 2 days had passed and the flying discs had already flown into the myriad Tao forest. The myriad Tao forest had become very beautiful. Even though Chang Shang had just arrived here, he could not help but exclaim in shock. He had not been here for a long time, although he had heard of the changes from Chen Xiang. He did not see it with his own eyes, so he did not know the exact details. The change is really huge. Chen Kai sent a sound transmission to Chen Xiang. Those people from the heaven-old divine race should be gathering here. They have already occupied the territory of the heaven-old orcs. They're actually hiding in here. I was just strolling around here before. Chen Xiang could not help but be shocked. If he had met these people from the heaven-old divine race before, there was a possibility that they would have clashed. At this time, Chen Xiang had already refined the detoxification pill, but he only had around 100 pills. After the frisbee flew into a mountain range, there was an empty square in the mountain range. The frisbee landed on top of the square. After they got off the flying discs, they got 3 more antidote pills. While they were waiting, several other flying discs came flying over and landed on the ground. Many people that were recruited came down from above and obtained 3 antidote pills. At the moment, there were more than 10,000 people gathered here. All of them were poisoned, and all of them were controlled by the world-defying stage clan. These fellows sure have good methods. Chun Kai could not help but exclaim. This way, they'll be able to obtain a lot of slaves. Yes. Chun Xiang never thought that these world-defying stage clan would be so shameless as to do such a thing. The heaven-old divine race is here, Chun Kai suddenly said to Chun Xiang. Chun Xiang looked in one direction, and everyone looked in that direction too. The people of heaven-old divine race were extremely mysterious. They were dressed in beautiful golden clothes and had a beautiful golden mask on their face. There was a golden headband on their heads, making them look extremely aloof. The people of heaven-old divine race were indeed strong. Once they appeared, everyone was shocked by the power that they had released. They could not help but lower their heads, afraid that people would think that they were being disrespectful and cause a fatal disaster. World-defying stage fierce power. At this time, Chun Xiang also pretended to lower his head, secretly surprised. The people from the heaven-old divine race had already cultivated this kind of world-defying stage fierce power to become very pure, and the aura they released was very strong. When will I be able to cultivate it? Chun Xiang already felt that with his current strength, if he wanted to deal with these powerful heaven-old divine race people, he would not be able to defeat them. Prepare to enter the natural law world. One of the heaven-old divine race people shouted out softly. It was a young man. Chun Xiang suddenly sensed a very strong spatial ripple. When these heaven-old divine race people entered, they could directly open a very large spatial tunnel that was connected to the natural law world. Does natural law world really have Tiangu Beast? Chun Xiang looked at the black vortex that was slowly growing larger in the sky. That was the entrance to the natural law world. You can go in now. After that, the few heaven-old divine race S were the first to go in, followed by the various world-defying stage clan S who controlled the flying discs, flying towards the gigantic black vortex. After entering the black whirlpool, Chun Xiang quickly felt the aura of the natural law world. Motherfucker! This is my territory. Chun Xiang secretly cursed in his heart. He was the god here, controlled by the natural law world, and now he was actually forced to do whatever he wanted by this group of people. He had to do something. Chun Kai was right next to him. He could feel Chun Xiang's current state of mind, and he sent a sound transmission to him. You need to make your move now. Of course not. After Chun Xiang finished speaking, they had already emerged from the darkness and appeared in a forest in the middle of the natural law world. Why are you suddenly angry? Chun Kai was extremely suspicious, because Chun Xiang's anger had erupted all of a sudden. Although Chun Xiang had restrained himself very well, Chun Kai could still sense it. This is my territory. Chun Xiang told Chun Kai simply about how he was in charge of managing the natural law world. Now that my world has been invaded by this group of people, I'm even preparing to wantonly destroy it. That's true. These guys really do owe me a lesson. Chun Kai nodded. Do you have any good plans? After the formation plate was suspended in the air, it released a very peculiar time and space power. Following that, a majestic burst of spatial energy surged out, and the space in the sky was suddenly torn apart as a large spatial crack appeared. After the sound of the explosion, a large number of spatial rifts suddenly shattered, and a large amount of black objects rushed out. In just a few blinks of an eye, a large gust of black wind blew out. What a bastard! Chun Xiang immediately scolded. He now understood how those Tiangu beasts came here. The people of heaven-old divine race had let them in, and they were the ones who opened a passage for the Tiangu beast to come here. They're using this place as a hunting ground. Chun Kai was also very angry. They know where a large number of Tiangu beasts are and then opened a path, allowing the Tiangu beast inside to run over here. When the black gale blew out, a large number of Tiangu beasts ran out as well. Moreover, they were blown everywhere by the gale and were already far away from here. Let's begin the arrangements, an old man from the He clan said. They only had around 3,000 people under their command. Right now, the elders of the various families were beginning to tell the crowd some things that they needed to pay attention to. They wanted the group to hunt the Tiangu beast. They did not need the Tiangu beast's corpse, they only needed the Tiangu beast's beast hair. Chun Xiang had seen those beast hair before, and Chen Kai had also said that the beast hair contained a little less myriad Tao divine soil. These guys are going to destroy my territory. Xianxia was about to explode. He had already decided that after everything here was settled, he would go to the divine wasteland and destroy their territory. If they could not hunt a Tiangu beast, they would not be able to come back. Even if they did come back, they would not be able to get the antidote pill for a while, and they would be tortured by the poison for a period of time before they could get the antidote pill. The people of He Clan and the people of Heaven Old Divine Race did not go. It could be seen that they were very afraid of death because they did not know the specific strength of the Tiangu beast right now. Therefore, when the time came, they would quietly observe from afar. Everyone was very helpless. In order to survive, they could only face unknown dangers at this moment, where Xianxia and Chen Kai were also in the crowd. He Clan, these bastards, they actually dared to scam your father. If I become stronger in the future, I will definitely make them pay with their blood. One of the elders was extremely angry, running wildly while cursing. We still don't know whether we'll make it back alive. The things we face this time are very strong. Didn't you see how those guys didn't dare to follow us? A middle-aged man was very calm. They are watching us from afar. They probably want to use us to test the strength of that thing, said. Both he and Xianxia could sense that someone was following them. It was just the old man from the He Clan. This animal, I really want to kill them right now. A young man looked behind him and discovered that there was indeed a golden dot in the distance. It was the old man from He Clan. His voice was so loud that even though the crowd was running around making noise, everyone could still hear him. He's here, Chen Kai said in a low voice. It must be because of that brat's scolding earlier. As expected, with the speed of the elder from He Clan flying over, and a cold expression on his face, he walked into the crowd and locked onto the young man who had scolded him just now. Although he was far away just now, he could still hear the sounds from here. This old man was of noble status even in the He Clan. How could he tolerate being insulted like this? It would have been fine if he hadn't heard it, but he heard it and knew it was a scolding. Were you scolding me just now? The voice of the old man from He Clan was filled with cold air. His eyes swept across the crowd. The killing light caused them all to tremble, as though they could be killed at any moment. So what if I am scolding you? You old thing, you are inferior to an animal. Using this sort of despicable method to control us, even scolding you as an animal would give you face. The young man cursed loudly. He knew that he could no longer live on. Moreover, living like this was worse than dying. He might as well just continue scolding to his heart's content. Hey, since you're begging for death, I'll grant you that wish. When the He Clan saw that someone had insulted him like that in front of everyone, he was so angry that his whole body trembled. When the young man saw his angry appearance, he immediately laughed out loud. Old bastard, I didn't think that you would know how to be angry. However, it is also normal for beasts to get angry. If you really do not want to get angry, then you are truly inferior to beasts. Everyone admired his courage and inwardly cheered for him. The He Clan old man's face suddenly became sinister. His palms started to exude purple mist. I suddenly changed my mind. I want to make you live a life worse than death. In a flash, he appeared in front of the young man. His purple hand was already slapping towards him. And just as he was about to hit the young man, Xianxia immediately used a teleportation to teleport the young man away. The He Clan elder missed, which surprised him. He did not expect the young man in front of him to be able to use teleportation. Good. I want to see how long you can struggle. When the He Clan saw that the young man was teleported to the distance, he anxiously rushed forward. But just as he was about to go over, Xianxia had already teleported and appeared behind him. The old man from the He Clan was very powerful. He had cultivated the primordial divine body, and had just not reached the peak yet. Although he had only reached mastery, he was still an extremely powerful existence in the divine wasteland, and was not someone the venerable ancestor realm could handle. Just as the He Clan elder flew over, he sensed that someone was following behind him. He was greatly alarmed, as if he had thought of something, but it was already too late. Xianxia had already made his move. When the heavenly magic sword appeared, it instantly flashed with a cold light. The old man's head that was just about to turn had already landed on the ground. When everyone saw this sudden scene, they could not help but be dumbstruck. The incomparably powerful old man from the He clan was killed just like that, and the person who made a move easily chopped off that head. You? Who exactly are you? The He clan elder looked at the indifferent Xianxia. He remembered that the person in front of him was also recruited by them. If you kill me, aren't you afraid of getting the antidote pill? Although the old man's head was chopped off, he did not lose it. His body was already being stepped on by Xianxia as he searched through the items. Just who are you? The He clan elder could not help but be alarmed. The person in front of him was clearly not an ordinary person. Why would such a capable guy sneak in? He must have a reason. You want to know? I'm not going to tell you. Xianxia kicked the head away and released a heaven-blasting palm and a world-defying god fire. The head exploded into dust. After exterminating the old man from the He clan, Xianxia looked at the astonished crowd and laughed. I'm an alchemist, you don't have to worry about the matter of the antidote pill. I can refine enough antidote pills for you guys. Brother, is this true? I thought we'd be like this for the rest of our lives. The youth from before shouted excitedly. Your antidote pills can last for 2 more days. Can't you? Xianxia said. Wait for 2 days. I should be able to help you guys get it over and over with. After that, Xianxia and Xianxia brought this group of people to a place to hide and helped them refine the antidote. Xianxia first concocted antidote temporarily, so it wouldn't take him too long to concoct a lot of antidote in a short period of time. This took him a full 10 days to complete. At this moment, everyone's poison had been dispelled, and they were all overjoyed. In order to settle them down, Xianxia contacted the Heavenly Dragon City, had the Heavenly Dragon City send people over, and then led the group of people to various places in the natural law world to settle down. I haven't met any Tiangu beast yet. Xianxia laughed. He clan would definitely ache over losing such an old fellow. Haha. What a great pleasure. We need to find the Tiangu beast. We need to get rid of them as soon as possible. Xianxia was currently not in a good mood. He was the one in charge of managing this natural law world, and now someone was messing around in his world, releasing a large number of Tiangu beasts to harm this world. This made him very angry. Heaven old divine race. The one who bullied me was not strong enough. Just you wait. Xianxia closed his eyes and searched through the entire natural law world, quickly locating a few Tiangu beasts. There are more than 100 of them, and a Tiangu beast is approaching a city. Xianxia clenched his fists. Although it had been more than 10 days, these Tiangu beasts had not started their destruction and were just wandering around. Let's go! Xianxia brought Xianxia and quickly teleported to the Tiangu beast that was approaching the city. In the blink of an eye, Xianxia and Xianxia arrived at the Tiangu beast's location. This Tiangu beast was like a crocodile, but it was extremely huge. Its body was hundreds of meters long, and its entire body was covered with dense black spikes. This is the Tiangu beast, Xianxia said. Those spikes are their beast fur. They have extremely strong defensive power. Ordinary divine weapons would not be able to break through their defenses. Try this one and you'll know. Xianxia took out the heavenly magic sword, then teleported over. Just in case, he had released the black long whip in the past and had this black long whip tie the Tiangu beast up. Xianxia originally wanted to go and help, but seeing that Xianxia had released a very powerful black whip to tie the Tiangu beast up, he felt that there was no need to go over there. This whip is really powerful. Xianxia had thought that the Tiangu beast would break free, but the Tiangu beast only roared and rolled on the ground, its spiky fur constantly trembling. Bastard, prepare to die. Xianxia landed, and the heavenly magic sword easily stabbed into the Tiangu beast's head. Under his control, the heavenly magic sword entered the inner part of the Tiangu beast's head and started hacking inside. And in that short period of time, the Tiangu beast was killed. This big guy is really big. He has quite a lot of fur on him. When Xianxia arrived at the bottom of the Tiangu beast's corpse, he felt as if he was at the bottom of a small mountain. He walked over and pulled out a sharp thorn. Is there really a myriad Tao divine soil here? Xianxia asked. I'll leave this corpse to you. If I refine the myriad Tao divine soil, I will give you some. Sure. Chun Kai laughed. That whip of yours is not bad. Can you let me have a look? Chun Xiang passed the whip over. After Chun Kai received it and examined it, he exclaimed, "This is made using the myriad Tao Divine Soil S, and the number of myriad Tao Divine Soil S used is not any less than yours. It's just that, due to the different effects, it wasn't refined into a sharp weapon. This whip seemed to be able to extend its length infinitely. If not, Chen Xiang would not have been able to bind this mountainous Tiangu beast just now. Is it really the myriad Tao Divine Soil? No wonder he's so powerful." Chun Xiang had been bound before, so he couldn't struggle free at all. "Hehe, you really have a lot of good stuff. It seems like I don't need to help you hunt the beasts. I will just follow behind you and collect the corpses." Chen Kai laughed. Because Chun Xiang was in charge of the natural law world, when he closed his eyes, he could see the entire world. The size of the Tiangu beast wasn't small, and it was very easy for him to find them. In just a short 3 days, all 100 Tiangu beasts had been killed by him, and the natural law world had temporarily escaped calamity. "They will come back," Chun Kai said. "Your natural law world space is too weak. You need strengthening." "How?" Chen Xiang didn't understand this. "Well, I don't know either, but the strength of this world is closely related to your own strength. Try and see if you can use your own strength to strengthen this world." Chun Kai thought for a while, then said, "But before that, let's go kill the world-defying stage clan and the people of Heaven Old Divine Race. It's not good to have them here." The people of the Heaven Old Divine Race were much more powerful than the people of the world-defying stage clan. The people of the Heaven Old Divine Race could use the powerful world-defying stage fierce power, and like the Heaven Old Orcs, they both had a strong heart, and their hearts were their weakness. Don't go against the people of the Heaven Old Divine Race. Even if you know their weakness, it would be hard for you to defeat them. Chun Xiang had seen the Heaven Old Divine Race before. They were indeed very strong. He did not know if he could defeat them. That's because Heaven Old Divine Race is a lot more powerful than Heaven Old Orcs. Otherwise, Heaven Old Orcs would not be so obedient right now. If they want to suppress Heaven Old Divine Race, then they can only look at Heaven Old Orcs. Heaven Old Orcs should be thinking of a way to evolve his strength right now, and only then will they be able to fight against the people of Heaven Old Divine Race. Chun Kai's words made Chun Xiang feel a little heavy. The people of Heaven Old Divine Race seemed to have grasped some way to release the Tiangu beast. Now that they had their eyes on the natural law world, they would definitely continue. In a short period of time, they would not be able to fight against the world-defying stage clan and the people of Heaven Old Divine Race. "I'll go look for these guys now and see where they are." Chun Xiang had seen the Heaven Old Divine Race people following them in before, but he did not know whether they were going back or not. Closing his eyes, Chun Xiang could directly observe the natural law world. If there was a very powerful aura being released from the natural law world, he could also quickly lock onto the location of the aura being released. Not long after, he found a person from Heaven Old Divine Race. "Found it, he's the only one," Chun Xiang shouted excitedly. If he was alone with the Heaven Old Divine Race, he felt that he could still handle it. "Are you sure he's alone?" Chun Kai asked. "Search the surroundings again. If there are other people from the Heaven Old Divine Race nearby, it would not be good." "Yes, search carefully." Chun Xiang searched carefully, but there was no one around the Heaven Old Divine Race. The person he found was indeed him. "He's the only one. Come with me," Chun Xiang said. "When the time comes, you will hide in the vicinity. If there is any danger, I will depend on you." "What is this guy doing there?" Chun Kai asked. "I don't know." He was sitting on top of a mountain peak with his legs crossed, as if he was resting or sensing something. Chun Xiang said. He probably did not realize that all the Tiangu beasts were already killed. "Go to that place and let me stay at the foot of the mountain. Go find him yourself. If there really is something dangerous, I'll help," Chun Kai said. His strength was still very strong, and he had a lot of experience dealing with the Heaven Old Orcs. In his eyes, the Heaven Old Orcs was no different from a person from the Heaven Old Divine Race. "All right." Chun Xiang brought Chun Kai and stealthily arrived at the foot of the mountain. After he placed Chun Kai at the foot of the mountain, he himself activated counterpower to conceal himself, and then quietly flew to the top of the mountain. He was wearing a mask, and his face could not be seen. When Xianxia arrived in the sky, the heaven-old divine race person was still sitting cross-legged, as if he did not know that he had arrived. This guy is very strong. Although he was sitting here quietly without any defenses in place, why do I feel like he has no flaws? Xianxia wanted to attack, but he didn't know how. He rarely encountered this kind of situation. In the past, when he appeared on top of an enemy's head, if the enemy didn't notice, he would be able to kill him in the next few seconds. But this heaven-old divine race person made him feel like he had no place to start. Use that black whip to tie him up, and then release the seal's power from the 6 realms mirrors. Finally, use the heavenly magic sword to stab his sword through his heart. After Xianxia decided on his strategy, he took a deep breath. This was him using all of his most powerful divine tools at once. It could be seen how cautious he was towards this heaven-old divine race person. He took out the black whip and made a decision. After making a decision, he suddenly threw the black whip out, and in the blink of an eye, the black whip appeared on the heaven-old divine race's body, binding the heaven-old divine race's person, and then he released the 6 realms mirrors. It worked! In the next moment, Xianxia appeared behind the heaven-old divine race man and thrusted out his sword. Just as he was about to pierce through the man's body, an astonishing thing happened. The heaven-old divine race person's body suddenly swayed and released a gold light. The dazzling gold light carried a scorching heat, and in an instant, Xianxia felt that the blood in his body was about to be burnt. After a flash of golden light, the heaven-old divine race disappeared as well. He hurriedly retrieved the black whip and 6 realms mirrors back. This guy! His body turned into light and broke free from the restraints I placed on him. Xianxia's seal did not seal the light, but the light could easily pass through the seal and shine out. Thus, the person from heaven-old divine race could break open the seal and escape. Who are you? His voice was filled with killing intent. The dense killing intent caused the sky to suddenly turn dark, and the cold wind howled incessantly. I am a person of this world, and you are here to cause destruction. I do not welcome you, Xianxia said. I really didn't think that there would be someone with this kind of strength in this world. This is extremely rare, but it's a pity that you met me. After the heaven-old divine race disciple said this, he rushed down. His body shot forward like a ray of light, causing Xianxia to instantly feel a scorching pain. This guy is really scary. Xianxia placed the 6 realms mirrors on his chest. When the other party rushed over and struck the mirror, it was immediately bounced back. After being rebounded, the people of heaven-old divine race were in a sorry state. The magnificent golden white robe on his body had already been burnt to pieces. You, just what was this thing? Can actually injure me. The people of heaven-old divine race shouted in anger. Weak human, you have angered me. You are the ones who angered me, right? You came to this world to cause destruction for no reason at all? You barbarians actually think that you are very noble. In my eyes, you are just arrogant wild boars. Xianxia snorted and retorted angrily. The people of heaven-old divine race, who had always thought of him as very noble, were actually called wild boars by the humans they had looked down upon. This caused him to be extremely angry. Xianxia's words infuriated the heaven-old divine race, causing his body to continuously release terrifying golden light. This light made the stones on the mountain peak melt. It was so strong. Is it the world-defying stage fierce power? It really is scary. As Xianxia held onto the 6 realms mirrors, he started to worry if his own 6 realms mirrors could still hold on. Although Xianxia's eyes were in pain from the light, he did not close his eyes. He saw that in the instant of the light explosion, a large ball of golden light flew towards him from the exploded body of the heaven-old divine race. There was a 6 realms mirrors in front of Xianxia's chest. This kind of quick attack was impossible for him to dodge, and he could only rely on the 6 realms mirrors to block it. Hua! The golden light shone onto Xianxia's 6 realms mirrors, and after a series of explosions, Xianxia was forced to retreat. There were 6 realms mirrors blocking that ball of energy, but he was not injured. The waves of energy were still rampaging inside his body, wanting to destroy his body. Luckily, even if he could circulate the devouring magic kung fu, he was able to absorb and refine the waves of world-defying stage fierce power that had entered his body. How did you train your body? He clearly knew that Xianxia had a divine tool that could reflect his strength, but he still continued to charge forward. It was to distract Xianxia's attention and let the few tiny golden threads he had released penetrate the latter's body. He had already succeeded, but he did not manage to kill Xianxia as successfully as he had expected. In his imagination, as long as his world-defying stage fierce power entered Xianxia's body, he would be able to quickly destroy Xianxia's flesh, but this never happened. This was something he had never encountered before, even against the powerful heaven-old orcs. This move of his was extremely effective and could easily destroy heaven-old orcs' heart. This guy has a lot of combat experience, but unfortunately, he made a mistake. Xianxia suddenly spat out a mouthful of blood. The opponent's attack just now had severely injured him. Humph. Looks like your body isn't very strong either. When the heaven-old divine race saw Xianxia spitting out a large mouthful of blood, and that the blood carried his boiling power, he could not help but laugh. I want to see how long you can last. Heaven-old divine race flew over once again. His attack was the same as before. It was just that he released even more golden threads this time. Come in. When the heaven-old divine race turned into a golden light and rushed towards Xianxia's chest, the 6 realms mirrors that was in front of Xianxia's chest suddenly appeared. The Tianquang furnace's mouth faced the golden light, and after the golden light rushed in, Xianxia immediately closed the lid, while the 6 realms mirrors went to resist the golden silk threads that came from all directions, rebounding all the golden silk threads out. The surface of the Tianquang furnace was extremely hot, and it was shaking non-stop. If this goes on, your Tianquang furnace will be destroyed, Feng Kur said, using the 6 realms mirrors to cover the furnace entrance. Facing into the furnace with the mirror, as long as he released any energy, it would bounce back from the mirror. Xianxia immediately did as he was told, but before he released a ball of his power, he started bombarding the heaven-old divine race cultivator inside. While the latter blocked his attack, he took the chance to change the cover. The heaven-old divine race caught a glimpse of a hole in the cover just now, but it was immediately covered again. He once again transformed into a golden light and charged forward, but after clashing against the 6 realms mirror's mirror, the force he released was rebounded back, and it had increased by several times, hitting him back, seriously injuring him. This guy killed himself. Xianxia heaved a sigh of relief, looked at the heaven-old divine race inside the furnace and laughed. What's going on? Xianxia suddenly saw a large black cloud rolling in from the distance, accompanied by a terrifying aura. They're from the heaven-old divine race, 4 of them, and they're very strong. They look like they released all the world-defying stage fierce power from their bodies, and they're rushing towards us. Chen Kai suddenly jumped up. Hurry and go! Xianxia grabbed Chen Kai and immediately teleported into Dan God Mysterious Land. That guy was taken care of by you? Chen Kai asked. He was captured by me, but he didn't die. Took me a long time to get him. This guy is really strong. Xianxia said. If I didn't react fast, maybe I would be the one to be done for. Xianxia and Chen Kai were currently in a secluded place in Dan God Mysterious Land, and he told Chen Kai the entire process. What a powerful heaven-old divine race. It's been a long time since I last saw them. How did they improve so much? Chen Kai's face became gloomy. He had told Xianxia before, as long as he could attack the heart, it was fine. But this was not easy, because the heaven-old divine race people's bodies could split at any time and then combine together. If they got close to them, they would need to possess sufficient strength to fight them in close quarters, otherwise it would not be able to pierce their hearts. Go and refine those Tiangu beasts first. I want to see the situation inside the natural law world. Xianxia closed his eyes and examined the mountain peak he was at just now. He saw 4 heaven-old divine races there, all dressed the same. OL5 just issued an emergency call for help. This is a very rare occurrence. There is actually an expert in this world that can make him ask for help. Who exactly are they? It is impossible for humans to be so powerful, and we can only be the heaven old orcs, but how did the heaven old orcs come to this place? I don't know. In short, OL5 is still alive, but his whereabouts are unknown. We must find him. He has the world-defying mad source bead. We can't let him fall into other people's hands. Even if he dies, we must get the world-defying mad source bead back. Hearing their conversation, Xianxia's heart jumped. The man from heaven old divine race just now actually asked for help. If he could hold out for a while longer, these people would have arrived. The 4 heaven old divine race people immediately spread out, looking for the 5th brother in the air. Xianxia took out the Tianchuang furnace, looked at the heaven old divine race man lying on the ground, and thought, what is a world-defying mad source bead? Could it be that their powerful world-defying stage fierce power came from the world-defying mad source bead S? Xianxia controlled the 6 realms mirrors to enter and kill the heaven old divine race people inside. He wanted to see if he could find the world-defying mad source bead. Xianxia probed the body of the heaven old divine race person, and very quickly discovered that there was a very strong energy source in the heart of the heaven old divine race person, and it was extremely violent. Not long after he killed the heaven old divine race person, the body started to exude a gold light, and very quickly, it became gold-colored ashes. Oh no! No, it must be because the body has lost its consciousness and is unable to control the strong power inside it. That's why the power is destroying the body. Xianxia was sure that the energy source was the world-defying mad source bead. Sure enough, a golden bead appeared inside the Tianchuang furnace. This bead was currently colliding against the walls of the furnace. The speed of the collision was extremely fast, as though countless golden lights were flashing around inside the furnace. Can this thing help us cultivate world-defying stage fierce power? Xianxia immediately used the world-defying stage divine power to control the suppression, but it did not succeed. Shao Kuer, try releasing your sealing power. This thing has a very strong world-defying stage fierce power. I wonder if it can be tamed by me. Xianxia looked carefully and sent out his divine sense to investigate, but he did not find anything. It's best not to fuse with this thing. This thing might be obtained by some means and might not belong to them. Feng Kur said. Xianxia had previously heard from the 4 heaven old divine races that they were going to take back the world-defying mad source bead. Yes, I'll try and see if I can refine it. Xianxia released the world-defying god fire to burn. After being burned in the time domain for a month, he actually did not succeed. This thing is very hot to begin with, and the world-defying stage fierce power is so much stronger than my world-defying stage divine power. If I were to release the world-defying god fire to burn it, it would only be engulfed. Xianxia said, it's not easy to deal with. Seems like I can only wait for you to cultivate world-defying stage fierce power. Feng Kur said, you should be aware of the difference between yourself and those heaven old divine race people now. Of course I know. I will start training the world-defying stage fierce power now. Xianxia's body had an invigorated meridian, which allowed him to absorb the world-defying stage fierce power above the myriad Tao. Previously, he could not absorb it because his body was not strong enough, but now that his body was strong enough, the time was ripe. He closed his eyes and focused all of his attention on the heavenly passage channel in the divine sense sea world, trying to sense something from it. After an unknown amount of time, he suddenly felt a golden power appear before his eyes. After opening his eyes, he examined the divine sense sea's black meridian and saw a trace of golden light shining inside. This is the world-defying stage fierce power? Xianxia immediately lured the golden silk thread over and gathered it. I should need to condense a world-defying mad source bead. I don't know how long it will take. I need to use the dual time domain. After using dual time domain, he could transform 1 day into 30 months of time to use. He didn't know why, but the speed at which the world-defying stage fierce power was being absorbed was extremely slow. 30 months passed quickly, but the world-defying stage fierce power that he had condensed was only the size of a grain of rice. This should be my world-defying mad source bead, but compared to the heaven old divine race, it's way too small. The world-defying mad source bead S of the heaven old divine race were as big as eggs. I can only continue. I have to hurry up. Right now, he could not use the triple time field either, otherwise he would not have enough energy to condense world-defying mad source speed. It had already been a month since they were outside, and the atmosphere inside the Dan God mysterious land was extremely tense. Because something big had happened in the natural law world and they wanted to contact Xianxia. But Xianxia still hadn't appeared. Xianxia was right inside the Dan God mysterious land. He had almost finished cultivating his world-defying mad source speed. Although it was not as big as an egg, it was still not bad. Let me check the situation of natural law world. After Xianxia closed his eyes, he immediately sensed that a lot of dead souls had appeared in the natural law world, and quite a few people had died. Quite a few people have died. At least a few cities have been destroyed. This group of bastards. I will make all of you accompany me in death. Xianxia could feel the chi of the 4 heaven-old divine race people. They were also hunting Tiangu beastes. When he came out, he immediately went to find world-defying stage Tao Ancestor and the others, telling them some information. Right now, the most important thing is not to eliminate the things outside, but to strengthen the natural law world's spatial barrier, so that they won't be able to open it that easily. Only you can do this, the world-defying stage Tao Ancestor said. You guys should be careful when you go out. Don't deal with those fellows. Once I've reinforced the space wall, I'll go out and destroy them. Xianxia hurriedly left and came to a quiet place before he attempted to sense the spatial wall of the natural law world. As he was a cultivator of spatial energy, he was able to sense it very quickly. Moreover, he could sense that there were a few weak spots and even some cracks. He immediately released some spatial energy to repair it. He would need to consume a lot of his energy to repair it. Fortunately, he recovered quickly and was able to maintain his energy consumption. It's been repaired. The next time they want to open it won't be that easy. Right now, I have to continue strengthening the spatial walls. It looks too thin. Xianxia did not know why, but he was getting more and more familiar with the natural law world, and he was getting more and more clear about it. Using my world-defying stage fierce power to circulate the laws of space, I wonder what will happen. Xianxia thought of doing it and immediately gave it a try. After that, he released an extremely dense spatial energy, which turned into a golden color and rushed into the spatial wall of the natural law world, swiftly strengthening the spatial wall. No, my world-defying stage fierce power is too weak. It's not enough. Xianxia saw that the world-defying mad source bead he created had become dim, and he could not help but become anxious. Got it. He remembered the big world-defying mad source bead in the heaven-old divine race. After a few tries, he successfully transferred the world-defying stage fierce power inside into his small one, and then used his own small world-defying mad source bead to summon his spatial energy to strengthen the natural law world's spatial wall. He carried on continuously for a month. That large world-defying mad source bead had already become transparent, and all the world-defying stage fierce power inside had been used up, while the natural law world's spatial wall had already become very strong.